The stream will be starting in 3 minutes. Get your popcorn, grab a snack, grab a sody pop, make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. We'll see you guys shortly. What did Gandalf say on the dawn of the third day? Look to the east. And he threw that king off of Minas Tirith. Oh yeah. All right, that's close enough for government work. Welcome, everybody, to the new and improved MasterZoran show. 4.0, 5.0, I don't even remember which iteration of the show that we are on at this point. The man is back, Neelanth Boost Shack. Welcome to the new and improved Twitch studio. I'm your host, MasterZoran, career bartender, scientist, wizard, and resident crazy man. Thank you, my friend. It feels very smooth. Very nice. So we got a fantastic show for you guys today. Yes. Welcome to the return of the Zoran stream. So we've got a little bit of a format change for you guys. We're going to be doing kind of a gaming news show, and then there's a bit of a post show afterwards. Oh, what do we got here? Neelanth with the
Neelanth just subscribed.
Oh, look
with
at that.
Prime. Resub feels so good.
Neelanth just subscribed with Prime. Resubscribing and it feels so good. Yeah. Absolutely. So, friends, welcome to the MasterZoran stream studio. New and improved. You did get text-to-speech. You know what's so funny? It's been active for like months and just nobody uses it. Beautiful. Très magnifique. So, like I said, my name is MasterZoran. I am going to be your host today on this gaming adventure. First, I want to talk a little bit about the new studio. So, my basement got water in it, as some of you who may have been following our Discord would be aware of. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and plug the Discord real quick. Plug some... And yeah, so we got a little bit of water in the basement. It wasn't anything catastrophic. We had some storms around here. A branch fell in my eaves trough. It overflowed. It wasn't like anything catastrophic, but it was enough water that I had to disassemble the studio. And the studio disassembly and reassembly is like it takes like 30 hours, and it's not fun the whole time. I swear and stomp my feet the whole entire time I'm doing it. And so I try to have that happen as little as possible. So when I was going to rebuild the studio, my thoughts were, how do we not ever have this happen ever again? And so, we have our new solution. Now, it might not look like it from inside here, but this is, believe it or not, what is it? I forget what the brand is. It's a pop-up ice fishing shanty that I put on pallets in my basement. It's so great. So we are now waterproof. We are now windproof. We are now Zoran-proof. Oh, it's excellent. We got a little breeze kicking across. We got the whole studio lights, sound. We are ready to rock and roll. And I got a huge thank you to each and every one of you guys, all the supporters, everyone who donated through PayPal, who tipped, subs. Viewers like you, just tuning in and watching through the ads and all that fun stuff, has funded this. This that allowed me to actually do this, and so I love you guys so much. This is going to be the best version of the Master show by an enormous margin. I'm super excited for it. Yeah, and so we've been gone for about a month. And in that month, it was a lot of theory crafting. It was a lot of trying to figure out, like, how do I fit a 6-foot by 6-foot by 6-foot cube in my house that is only maybe 500 square feet. On a good day. 500 square feet on a good day. Oh my goodness, Boost Shack just resubscribed for 1 month. We got
subscribed
the hype, the hype train started. Oh my goodness. There's the sound. That's the hype train sound. Oh, you guys may also notice, we've unmirrored the stream. The Wizard Shanty. It is the Wizard Shanty now. So we've unmirrored the stream. I'm coming to you live and in person as God intended, not from the mirror universe anymore. And that's my gift to you, to polish it up just a little bit. Absolutely fantastic, absolutely beautiful. So there were some growing pains with this. I had to drive around. So surprisingly, obtaining pallets, like going to buy new ones, is kind of a bitch and a half. And so I ended up having to just drive around to area businesses and be like, yo, who's got some pallets that I can have for free? I tried to get new ones made, and everywhere that I went was like, yeah, you got to buy like 25 of them. And I was like, ugh, I don't need 25 pallets. I'm trying to get this studio built on the cheap, baby, because we want to have a little budget left over for video games and all that stuff. Moonlight's going to be back to streaming on Tuesday the 10th. I'll mark my calendars. We can all get in there. Yeah. It's okay to take some days off from streaming every once in a while. You know, you gotta work out. You gotta focus on number one, right? As Maya Angelou famously said, never trust a naked man offering you a shirt. You know, and I subscribe to that wholeheartedly. Oh, you know what? I missed my. That's right. That's audience has got to get on that. Taking your phone to get fixed tomorrow. Oh, that's tons of fun. So, oh my goodness. So let's get right into news. Game used to be more painful than it is. So we're gonna get right into the show. I know we've got a Bezos ad break coming up. I think I have those scheduled pretty early in the show here, but pre that, we're just gonna kind of dip our toes in. Your phone has iOS. Oh yeah. No, that should be super easy. Super easy. So let's see. Gaming, brand new gaming stuff this week. First of all, free games. Epic Game Store. I don't know how many of you guys like to get the free Epic Game Store games when they come out. I highly recommend it. It's just, you got an account and you just get free games. I've got hundreds of them over the years, just scooping up those Epic free games. This week it is Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics. Now I know they've given these away a few times. I think I have Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics on like every platform. I've got it on Steam. But it's not a bad idea just to keep your eyes on those free games, because it just helps you build out your library without having to throw money at it. It's fantastic. For a rainy day, you've got something to play if you're looking for. I mean, because I've played a little bit of Fallout 1. I don't think I played Tactics. I played a little bit of Fallout 2. They're dense. They're dense games. Back in the day when you had a manual that was 130 pages to actually play a video game. Moonlight's back with her ex-boyfriend. Well, you know what? That's fun. It's sometimes you gotta make up. You gotta kiss and make up. Coffee out of the MasterZoran mug. You too can get one of these MasterZoran mugs. We have merch available down below. Stickers and mugs right now, but we're working on more. Someone told me that you guys wanted my silly, goofy, the ad goblin on a mug, and I thought, wow, what a great idea. The ad goblin could go on a mug, and then I can drink. I can drink coffee out of myself, which is horrors from beyond comprehension, truly. So we got free games, and another good thing for you guys to check out. If anyone looking for like deals, I do this all the time, and let me just pull this up on the main monitor. This is one of my favorite like deal aggregation websites. It's called gg.deals. And gg.deals is like, look, you can even get like Wukong immediately. Like, this game just came out. We're actually going to talk about Black Myth Wukong in just a minute. You can get Wukong $51, right? This is an instant $10 off. Star Wars Outlaws is already on sale. Oh my goodness, Dusty Balls!
Dusty Balls just
back,
subscribed
baby.
with Prime.
He's back, baby. They're hungry for more Zoran Studio upgrades. They're just like, take our money, buy more cool stuff for the studio, more upgrades, better camera. Oh my God, look, we're on our way. So this is gg.deals. I always check this site. You can see right here that and a lot of times free things will show up on this website. Sometimes they don't, but it's sorted by Wukong is on hold on your stream. You're dropping too many frames. You know what? You should let me come and configure Wukong for you, because I had a ton of dropping frames, even on like my 3080. It was bad. I had to put like an hour into getting the frame rate and everything to match. And so that's actually, I was actually talking to Ilyich about that yesterday. We were setting up, we played a little bit of Skyrim together, which Neelanth, well, the three of us should, it's right now there's actually a Skyrim together server being hosted on the Wizard Tent server. But I was talking to Ilyich about how with PC gaming especially, and people like, they'll just like load up a game out of the box. The developers intend for that to work, and it almost never does, at least for me. And I'm a power user. How's my cat doing? The cat is doing fantastic, super fantastic. That's actually one of my current engineering things is how do we get the cat into the studio? I'm thinking this corner. We're gonna try to get her in here. The studio is very, very small. I can open my arms up, and this is like, I can just lay down in here, and I actually can't stand. So it is a tiny little pop-up ice shanty. But no, the cat's doing fantastic. Cat is doing very, very nice. So back to deals of the week. gg.deals. So some people are kind of nervous making or using like aggregate or like deals websites like this, and some of them are slightly sketchy. Are we going to make beef jerky again? Yes. Oh, yeah. We're going to make beef jerky again. I made beef jerky. I'm now out of beef jerky. But yeah, and also, speaking of beef jerky, I have not forgotten about the painting and music stream. Don't you guys worry. It is on its way. Can I make notes again? Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, when we make jerky this upcoming time, it'll actually be like, we'll actually have a recipe for you guys. And the ads are here. And did we get a Jeff Bezos? Even did Jeff Bezos not hunger? Jeff Bezos hungers. There we go. I did it for you guys. We are on a little ad break. We're going to go ahead and pause the stream. I'm going to come back. We're going to talk about this gg.deals that I like to use. And then we've got a bunch of cool new gaming news coming up. We're going to talk about Black Myth Wukong. We're going to talk about Star Wars Outlaws. We're talking about Concord. We got upcoming games coming out. All kinds. Games on the horizon. Some gaming drama and news. We're going to get to all of this in the next hour, 2 hours. I don't even know. We're not even sure how long the main stream is going to last today. But don't worry, because there's going to be a post stream. We're going to be playing some Sonic Adventure 2 today. Yeah, for our new format. So we'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick little 2-minute break. I'm going to let you guys take a quick little break. We're just getting started. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Jeff's gone. Oh, we did get a Jeff Bezos. It's just he's just coming out of the wrong input. That's okay. Little growing pains. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a nice break. Where were we? What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about gg.deals. Yeah. So let's just pop really quick and talk about gg.deals. Coming back from our ad break. And I'm now going to serve you an ad for this thing that I really love. Isn't that fun? gg.deals. So gg.deals is just a deals aggregation website. I'm going to give you an example here. Let's go click on like Hogwarts Legacy. Do it. Give me the deals. Yes. Dude, ads 9 is painful. I know. It's rough. But luckily, we only have to do it once an hour. And that's the good thing. I'm trying not to have like an ad break every 20 minutes or anything goofy like that. So you look, check this out here. Right now you can see we've got official stores and key shops. And if you scroll down, there's actually 2 sections where you can find keys. I don't buy ones from the key shops because sometimes these guys down here can be obtained in like slightly shady ways, and occasionally you'll buy a key off of one of those sites and it won't work for some reason, or it'll get like deactivated by the devs or whatever. The keys, so like Steam keys. So like if you want to buy a game, rather than buying it through Steam, like if we go to Steam right now and try to buy, let's say, Hogwarts Legacy, right? Let's say and I think Hogwarts Legacy might even be on sale on Steam. So let me just check. It is actually. Okay, so Hogwarts Legacy is on sale on Steam, but they're not always on sale. So like right now it's 70% off on Steam. It's a little bit higher percent off but sometimes you'll find like really good deals on here that aren't on Steam. And so what you can do, so they actually list Steam right here, but you can go to a website like GameBillet, right? And so if the price on Steam is like 3 times as high as here, you buy the key on GameBillet, right? And then they just email you a Steam key that you activate on your account. So using this site, GG Deals, I save like a shit ton of money buying games. I would almost never buy it full price if you can avoid it. And even, like I said, even brand new games are often on here. So yeah, free games, game deals, very, 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 very important. Let's move right along. We got recently released games. Black Myth Wukong. Let's talk about Black Myth Wukong, because Black Myth Wukong has been, dude, setting records and taking names. Developed and published by Game Science. It had a 6-year development time. And honestly, surprisingly, for a AAA game, the first AAA game out of China, it cost $40 million, which on a scale of like big AAA games like that today, $40 million is like a drop in the bucket, which we will be discussing some other games that had slightly less players playing that cost just a little bit more pocket change. So let's see ones. Relatively small team. Started out with a team of 13, grew to 140 people by the end of development, and honestly, by all accounts, it has been a critical success. I believe their reported numbers were 3 million players peak. 3 million across all platforms, which is insane. That's super duper crazy. Now, a good chunk of that is, like, a lot of the players are Chinese. A lot of Chinese players are really, really excited to have an actual real game come out of China. Like a AAA, well-produced, well-received, based on excellent source material, Journey to the West. There was a little bit of controversy. There was an infamous IGN article that was written about perceived sexism of the company, and I read through some of the things. There were some, like, kind of juvenile posts that some of the devs made back on Twitter back in the day, but like not even anything super egregious. I think some of the accused sexism in Black Myth comes from the fact that like the source material was written in like the 1500s. So it's like, it's a really old story that hasn't been modernized at all. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And clearly, the gamers of the world have spoken with their wallets, and it has been... right now we're talking about Black Myth Wukong, and some of the... So, people have called it a Souls-like. people have called it not a Souls-like. And I think the general consensus on the internet is that it is not a Souls-like. However, to the layperson, to someone who maybe has watched somebody play Elden Ring or Dark Souls, if you watch somebody play Elden Ring or Dark Souls, and then you watch somebody play Sekiro, or you watch somebody play like any games from that genre, they all, in my opinion, I think it falls under a great dodge, heavy attack, light attack combat, we could call it. So from the perspective of no, your character, no, you don't get to customize, you don't get to decide what weapons really you're using and all that kind of stuff, it wouldn't be a Souls-like that perspective. I would say that it is Souls adjacent. Your sister broke into your room. Oh no. No. You gotta respect other people's boundaries and personal property. Highly unprofessional. So, in my opinion, so from what I've played of Black Myth, it sort of kind of feels a little bit, can you get a thumbnail, Screeny? Oh yeah. Like one of these, G-Tater? Oh, yeah. Making it out as a Souls just describes action RPGs. That's fair. I feel like action RPG doesn't always necessarily... I think the reason why people compare it to the Souls is the dodge roll. The iframes, the dodge roll, and the general flow of... And okay, also the fact... Yeah. But I think a more fair and comparison would be to compare it to Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden, I've heard some people compare Black Myth to like God of War, like old God of War, like PlayStation 2 God of War, and I think that is also an apt comparison. Don't you worry, my friend. I think some of the complaints about like the invisible walls and like kind of slightly dated like game design from that perspective, I actually think it's a really good thing. Yeah, we're talking about Black Myth, Wukong, and I think that's part of the reason why the game has had such critical success, because it is kind of linear. With it's branchingly linear. You know, you can take kind of different through the levels, but it's very much like, you're gonna do a little bit of this. You're gonna level up your guy. Maybe you put some points into like, you know, using his staff or whatever. It reminded me of like the progression, the gameplay from Ninja Gaiden, and that's one of my favorite game series. Goku, yes, is based on Sun Wukong, yes, and that's actually when I went and I watched. There was a YouTube channel that did like a 4-hour kind of summary of Journey to the West. And I noticed a lot of parallels, you know, Oolong and Poir and Master and like Ox King, all those stand-ins exist in Journey to the West. And they're actually even a little bit wackier. Like the story in Journey to the West is super wacky. And I think somewhat like it's super good. Invisible boundaries can be annoying. I agree with that. And I get why they did it. I do wish that maybe the devs had taken a little bit more time to place objects there, so that it's like, okay, yeah, it sucks when you're like exploring a city and like there's a bunch of crates at the end of an alleyway that you can't progress past, right? But at least in my brain, I know that like, okay, I can't go over there. That's off limits. And actually, remember this, because we're going to be talking about this kind of game design when we talk about Star Wars Outlaws, which is going to be in just a second. Because there was also a criticism of Star Wars Outlaws that I saw that kind of mirrors this. I think everybody got really spoiled by the fully open world. You can go anywhere, do anything you want. And like, I think a lot of people forgot that, like, dude, bring your brain back to like 2002, 2005, 2000. Games had invisible walls. That was just up, you know, and it didn't necessarily take away from those games. And I think that style of linear, this is the next thing that we're doing, gameplay can still be. I mean, personally, I love that. Did I see the media share channel? I did not see the media share channel. Actually, let's take a peek at the media share channel. Oh, the Zoran versus the G Tater setup. Oh my god, dude, Tater's setup looks really good too. Oh, I like your mic, Tater. And he's got a cooler. Ooh, nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Yes. And yeah, I don't mind how the game looks and plays at all either. It's really, really good. It's actually one of the first AAA games that I've seen that actually utilizes Lumen and Nanite than 5 stuff. I did see some criticism. People were mad that even on like a beefy graphics card, Wukong does not run smoothly unless you're using frame generation and upscaling. Like, even if you have a 4090, if you want to play at like 4K 120, you have to do frame generation and upscaling. And some people think that that's cheating. And what I would counter that with is that's just what the optimization is now. Like, people are like, oh, we can't we make the stuff more powerful? Can't you optimize it more? You know, screen culling used to be how we did optimization, where wherever your view wasn't facing, the objects would vanish, right? And honestly, after playing it with the frame generation, after getting used to the artifacts, I don't even notice them anymore, honestly. Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree with that. And sometimes you can't optimize it, and some people are okay playing a game at 30 FPS. And some people, like me, dude, I think minimum like 70 or 80, or I can deal with 60 if it's like Morrowind or a classic game like that. Like, we're going to play Sonic Adventure 2 later, and that we're going to play at 60 FPS. It's going to make my eyes bleed, but that's also what the stream runs at, so it's kind of whatever. Cost them $40 million. They had a 3 million player peak, which I believe was the most. It was the most players that have ever played a game at once on Steam, which is crazy, super crazy. And you know, what I like, it does take months. You're right, even years, absolutely, 100%. And so, like, yeah, maybe 4 or 5 patches from now we'll get some optimization passes. But like, does everybody want to wait another 2 years for the game to be like perfect? The studio might not be able to afford that, you know. But I'm actually hopeful. The whole Black Myth Wukong thing makes me super duper hopeful because I love single player games. I love single player games. And there was a time when the kind of meta, the kind of narrative in like gaming journalism, game news was that, oh, single player games are dying. Nobody wants single player games anymore. And I think the players have overwhelmingly spoken that, like, nope, we want single player games, and we want them to not be microtransaction loot box cash shops. All right. You've been playing PC VR the past few days, dude? Hell yeah. I was actually looking at my VR recently. I was deciding what it is exactly that I wanted to do with it. I haven't used it in a long time. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. I'll check out your DMG, Tater. Let's move on to our next topic of the day is going to be Star Wars Outlaws, which just came out. I have an Oculus Quest 2. I didn't buy the Quest 3. I would like a Quest 3, but I feel like for what I use it for, like, and also I don't really have enough room. You were playing Blade and Sorcery. There have been some really, really cool VR titles. Super duper fun, super duper amazing. Speaking of playing games together, and I don't know if it's up and running right now, but keep your eyes on the Discord, which I'm actually going to go ahead and plug that Discord. Keep your eyes on the Discord because we may be putting a Valheim server together. Oh my god, the spicy chicken and sausage gumbo. Good soup. I forgot about good soup, G-Tater. I forgot about the good soup. That spicy chicken and sausage gumbo. It's so good. Okay, let's move on to Star Wars Outlaws. So this is one that I have not played yet. You can't eat that anymore. He's had too much. He's had too much of the gumbo. Let's move on to Star Wars Outlaws. So this was one that I was kind of looking forward to. I was kind of excited about. It's gotten kind of middling reviews. I've heard some people really like it. I've heard some people really didn't like it. And we're going to talk about that dated... You got sick off this chicken and sausage gumbo? Oh, rip. Dude, I feel like that's been happening more. I've been seeing like more product recalls and stuff. And I don't know if it's like just laziness in manufacturing or what it is, but you got to stick with that tried and true, you know? So, Star Wars Outlaws, developed by Massive Entertainment, published by Ubisoft. Oh my goodness. The Ubisoft, everyone's favorite open world everything, right? Now, when we're talking about this, so like Star Wars Outlaws, let's pull up a little. Let's look at Outlaws. Let's look at Outlaws here. Oh my goodness! With the flam, you see?
Flam just subscribed for 30 months.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness, he's been subscribed for 30 months. Let's go. Let's go, Flammy Z. Thank you so much for all of your support and helping to fund the new, beautiful Zoran Studio. So, Star Wars Outlaws, let's pull up some gameplay here. Oh my goodness, we got ads. Oh, that's right, I'm not logged in over here, so we got ads. Gross. Gross. We're gonna have to fix that, but not right now. That happened. So, here we've got just some gameplay. Some Star Wars gameplay. And like so I haven't actually played Star Wars Outlaws. Full disclosure here before we actually talk about this. Some of the criticisms that people have had about it, I don't think the game in itself is bad. And I think depending on what you're looking for in an open world style Ubisoft game, this game might be really fun. I'm probably going to end up... Oh my God, the flight left at 6. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. You just woke up. Did you guys win any? Dude, so we went, us and the Snaky Boys, we went, and Super Horse, we all went to the casino yesterday, and everybody left in the green. Isn't that amazing? Super, super nice. So Star Wars Outlaws. So this is kind of what I have been. Oh my God! It started storming. GTA to rip. Well, I guess you're gonna have to stay in. I guess you're gonna have to stay in here and hang out with the Zoran show. What are you gonna do? So from what I've seen of this, it looks polished. And from what I've heard, I've had people kind of I've watched a bunch of reviews, I've watched a bunch of gameplay of it. Some people really like it, some people really don't like it. A lot of the criticisms come from pointing out that this game is 9 years newer than The Witcher 3, 6 years newer than Red Dead Redemption 2. It is a PS5 game. Now, I think some of the criticisms are unfairly levied at this. One of the main criticisms is that the game design is outdated. People are saying classic Ubisoft slop kind of a thing. Now, I don't know if that's really fair, because you have to remember also it's a Star Wars game. And anyone who's played any of the Star Wars games knows that they're often trying to capture a specific feeling. And that was one thing that, so like a lot of people were complaining about, there's like forced stealth sections, right? Where like, okay, yeah, you're like an outlaw, right? You're not a Jedi, whatever. So there's forced stealth sections. There are sections where you're like on your speeder bike fleeing from like stormtroopers, and you can't like they can fire at you from the speeders, but you can't like shoot back at them. And the developers, I listened to some of the yeah, exactly, just like Fallen Order. Similarly, yes, the developers referenced, like when they talked about what we sort of, they said something about how it was like they wanted to capture the feeling from the movie of like the speeder chase, right? So they didn't want players like like rolling, like flying up on a speeder bike, like guns blazing, right? Like they wanted the player to be the one fleeing, which I think is cool. I think that's kind of like a neat concept. I think there are clearly some gamers that want to play the game their way, right? So they want to have like their sort of like power fantasy of like, this is how I want to play an Outlaw, right? And there's certain things that you can't do, which does kind of suck. But my devil's advocate take for this is, if you remember like the Star Wars games from the PlayStation era, the Xbox 360 era, like those classic Star Wars games, they were always set pieces like that, right? It was like, oh, you beat level 1, now we're on to level 2. Oh, now this is the speeder bike section. And you can't just go drive over there and drive into the base and close the door. Like, you have to finish this speeder bike section. And I think if you approach Star Wars Outlaws with that attitude, it doesn't come across as like they're taking anything away from you, right? G-Tater, where did all the point rewards go? The point rewards vanished. I might put them back when we do the gaming sections, but specifically for the Zoran show portion of the weekly streams, I just kind of wanted everything to be a little more focused on gaming news and like the progression of the stream and not getting so derailed. But when we actually do the gaming section, I might put back like the stretch and the water reward. The pet the kitty's gone because the cat doesn't fit in here right now. Just all growing pains. All this stuff's gonna kind of be. We're gonna workshop it in the next couple weeks, But thank you. I appreciate G-Tater. Look, it says G-Tater keeping me an honest man. Keeping me an honest man here. He's like he's just making sure nothing got forgotten about. So there are some forced stealth sections that you have to go through. Can't fire from the speeder. I think people were really kind of focused on. They're like, oh, how come I can't shoot back on the speeder? And I think if you think about this, and yes, we're going into like this camera size. If you want to kind of railroad people into doing certain things in certain scenarios, you need to convey that through the storytelling. Okay, I agree with that 100%, Neelanth. 100%. And I think that was another. So from what I've heard, the combat in Star Wars very good. And the storyline is also not very into that, Tater. So the combat's not great. The story's not great. However, what I have heard is that like the exploration and the tone and like the making it feel like a living, breathing Star Wars world is really good. Yes, so though we want the section to be all about running away, but then break or lose the blaster or have something. Yeah, I agree with that. It feels a little bit too. It does look a little railroaded. And from what I've seen, whether you like Star Wars Outlaws is really going to depend on what kind of gameplay you're looking for. If you're really looking to just like explore a Star Wars universe and like kind of just going on with it, this might be fun for you. If you are looking for that really, really crunchy, what were we just talking about? The other Jedi Outcast or whatever, Jedi Survivor, whatever the hell just came up. The Fallen Order. That's it. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more combat focused, I think Fallen Order is going to be the game for you. And I think if you're looking to if you want to play Starfield, but with Star Wars and have it be a little bit more polished, and you just want to go on that big romping exploration, I think this might be really fun for you. And that's kind of why I'm keeping my eyes on it. Another thing I think people brought up was the cost of it. Now, is Fallen Order on Steam? Can we look it up? Or not Fallen Order. Yeah, it's like $60. Okay, for it to go on sale. I mean, I'll play it. It looks cool. It looks visually neat. And I'm someone that can kind of, suspend my disbelief a little bit when it comes to like things like this. But it's neat. It's something that I want to check out. I just don't know that I'm willing to pay $60 for it. That's the one thing, is I don't know. Is it going to be worth paying full price for it? probably not. And I think we'll see it go on sale. Am I still streaming on YouTube? I am, yes. I should be. Yeah, we should be. Oh, Turtles. Turtles said hello. Hi, Turtles. Did that not pop up on my thing? Some of the functionalities of the stream might be slightly broken. I did take all of this stuff apart, and it sat in my closet for like a week or like a month, and then I put it back together, and this is actually the first real test of it. So anybody from the YouTube channel, if I do not respond to your message, I will see them, and I have to figure out how to get them to show up on my tablet again. So Star Wars Outlaws, I've seen 7 out of 10, passable, playable. If you're a huge Star Wars fan, if you really want to dive more into that world, I think it's probably worth checking out. Let's move on to our next topic of recent game releases. And this is the big one. This is the big controversy that everyone's been kind of talking about. Concord. Sniper Elite 5. Actually, you know what? I've never played any Sniper Elite games. And yes, I took away the points for game suggestion just because like our community is so chill here that like and there was another one too that was up there which was like ask Zoran a question, and I don't remember if it was Sable or Demon or somebody pointed out, they're just like, why is that a point thing if we can just ask you a question anyways? And I thought that was a pretty good point. So I think throw your points into the dragon. Throw your points into the dragon. I will answer any questions, just out of the goodness of my heart, just because I like hanging out with you guys. There we go. Look at that. Dusty Ball just fed the dragon more wizard coins. Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what I just realized? The NES can probably go right here. That might be a cool spot for that. So, talking about Concord. Concord is our next thing. So Concord, developed by Firewalk Studios, published by Sony Interactive, a very bland 5 vs 5 hero shooter. Now, a lot of people have compared Overwatch, and this is the painful one. This is the really painful one. It is reported that they spent over $200 million on this, and it had an 8-year dev time. Concord Grape Jelly. Yeah, exactly. I think it's really, really funny that it had an 8-year development time, because what came out slightly over, actually, you know what? Concord Grape Jelly, I think the audience liked that one a lot. That was good. That was really good, Super Horse. They had an 8-year dev time. Is that a coincidence? Because if you remember, what came out kind of like a little more than 8 years ago was Overwatch, and did some suits at Sony Interactive. I'm the top streamer in the MasterZoran category. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Dude, gaming news, we're coming back. Dude, G-Tater, look at that. He's got the metrics for us. He knows exactly what the people want. So it had a Ripple. Is that a coincidence? Did some suits at Sony look at Overwatch and say, we want this, make this happen for us? Themes like that. It is another off topic. So one of the criticisms, so let's just rip the Band-Aid off and talk about the big one for Concord, that nobody's playing it at all. Like, and we're gonna talk about the peak numbers here. It's real bad. Like, even a failing game, right? You look at New World, right? And New World's been falling off. They still have like a peak of like 2,800, 3,000 players. Peep Boss. Oh my goodness. Peep Boss is here. Come on in, Peep Boss. Oh my goodness. King just fed the dragon. Getting those wizard coins in there. So Concord's a live service game again. And it seems like nobody really asked for it. We didn't need a hero shooter. It's been about a month. Yes, it has been about a month. And in that time, we have redesigned the Zoran Studio. We have upgraded. All of your support has helped fund a yeah, King. Thanks for stopping by. And we'll be playing some games. Grand Wizard is censored in chat. That's really weird. It's something default with Twitch. Twitch has like default censorship, so I'll go mess around with that. That's really strange. That's very strange. But yeah, King, we'll be playing some games later for the post show. So stop back, check that out. So nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for Concord. Anybody who was into playing hero shooters, there's already a lot of hero shooters. There's already a lot of Overwatch clones, and there's already Overwatch. And so, you know, Concord's not a free-to-play game. I believe it's $40, maybe $60, but it's not a cheap game either. And it also has microtransactions on top of that. And now what's really kind of a tragedy about this is that I've heard that the gameplay is actually solid and the game is actually polished. Because I know some people personally that want to play, or that play like those kind of hero shooters. And actually bought Concord for PS5 when it came out and have been trying to get like games up and running, and they can't. The Hobbit, very nice choice, G-Tater. So they've been trying to like play games and they just can't get games. Like they'll have to wait for like over a half an hour sometimes to actually end up getting games. And so one of the criticisms that's been levied against Concord is the character designs are really bad, and also it's not it's not based on any existing IP. They're trying to do like the story based. Each character has their own little story, right? But it's not based on a pre-existing IP. The character designs, I've seen people say that they feel bland. They almost feel AI generated. Like an AI looked at Guardians of the Galaxy and then just like vomited out the most homogenized, corporately appropriate version of something that like it just, that's what I've heard overwhelmingly. Feels generic. Now, is this necessarily a bad thing? No. Not necessarily. And like the gameplay looks tight, it looks polished, people haven't had any bugs. And so in an age of broken games, they really followed through on the making a tight, concise hero shooter. Now, if you actually look at and observe the gameplay, it's Overwatch. It's just a slowed down Overwatch. And I think the problem is there just isn't anybody who wants that kind of game that doesn't already have their game that they want to play, right? And so for those reasons, everybody's like, well, if we're going to play a game, we're just going to go play. It does. It looks like Overwatch plus Rainbow Six, and again, it's just one of those things that like there was no call for it. Talk about the numbers. I checked right now what our peak daily Steam players are, and it peaks at about 150 players, and that's not enough. That's barely enough to like get like a group together for anything. Not really not good. So we can actually find out the total number of players, because people are like, oh, that's just the Steam numbers, right? So what about like, you know, PlayStation? That's not counting the PlayStation people. Well, we can actually look at, there's a website you can go to and you can look at how many players purchased the game and then completed any trophies for it. And that number of players on PS5 is less than 1,200 players. So like, there's not even 2,000 people probably that own the game on PS5. And the numbers is like low. So their reported peak across all platforms is 2,000 players. And that was like when it just came out. And it's fallen off so hard since then that it's just a catastrophic failure. Dude, Sony lost $200 million on it. And at this point, like some of the people that I've talked to that actually bought the game, they're not sure what, like, is it going to go free to play just so that people play it? Will I check it out when it goes free to play? Probably. Should have put some more of the budget into advertising it. Yeah, dude, nobody knew about it. And now that it's out, like if you showed me this gameplay, and you said, hey, this is the new patch for Overwatch, and these are some of the new characters for Overwatch, I would be like, yep, I would have believed you wholeheartedly. And so it just, I don't know, it's just so much the same. It's just Overwatch. It's just Overwatch again. So I don't think there was a call for it. I just don't think it was one of those things that, like, they had already been developing it. They had already put a bunch of money into it. And it was one of those things that we didn't need and nobody really wants. And it kind of sucks. I feel bad for everybody that bought it. And I hope that they do something. They've got to pivot. And in my opinion, the only way they can save this is by going free to play to get some players in there so that their people that actually bought it can play the game. Otherwise, they're going to have to just refund everybody and shut down the servers, which I don't see them doing. I don't know. It's going to be, this one's going to be an interesting one to see how it plays out and if they can actually save it. Part of me thinks that they're probably not going to be able to. Probably not going to be able to. So we'll see if they can manage. Let's move on to upcoming games. So we got some games coming out this week. And this week's actually a kind of an interestingly semi-stacked, I wouldn't say stacked, but like there's some things that you may have heard of, and there's some interesting things. What are we looking? Oh, we got like 20 minutes left till the next ad is in another segment here. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions comes out tomorrow. It is Portkey Games, who developed Hogwarts Legacy. Unbroken Studios is, I believe, and like Warner Brothers publishing it, obviously. I've read some discourse around the closed alpha. I believe there are people that are actually playing it right now. If you bought like a premium edition, you could get in a little bit early. But the game looks good. The game looks really, really good. I've heard that the controls are kind of reminiscent of like some of the older PlayStation Quidditch games. And apparently it's like pretty sweet. $30 price tag. No microtransactions or minimal microtransactions, I've heard. Free on PlayStation Plus. She's a big Harry Potter fan and plays Hogwarts Legacy consistency. She has zero interest in the Quidditch game. Interesting. So the Quidditch game is actually one that I'm kind of interested in because it kind of it's going to be, what do we got here? What else do I have? So there's like a progression system. You can level up your different brooms and flight styles. I have reports here that there is going to be like a career mode where you like almost like kind of like a FIFA or a Madden kind of a career mode you can play through. A single player campaign with career mode, multiplayer, 3-player teams. There's going to be all kinds of different game modes. It is more of a sports. It is definitely like it definitely plays into that Quidditch sports thing for sure, 100%. One thing I found really, really interesting about this, and a lot of people were wondering if this was going to happen, the game acknowledges that the written rules of Quidditch don't make sense and that they're bad rules. And we'll talk about this because what did they change? The Golden Snitch is now only worth 30 points, and it does not end the game when someone catches it. Because I think the developers probably tried to go based on exactly what the game, or what the actual, like, the written rules of Quidditch. But they realized that if you catch the snitch and it gives you plus 100 points when everyone else is scoring 10-point goals, there's no reason to do anything else in the game other than just go directly for that. Have all of your play, like, just, and so that kind of made the game not as fun. So they modified it. They kept with the almost all the rules. They modified it just a little bit to make it actually an interesting game. This one I'm actually looking forward to. I think I would check out Quidditch Champions because there were some pretty cool sports games, racing games, and stuff that we played as kids. And from what I've seen, from what I've read, this is another one that calls out to the gameplay style of yesteryear, of making a complete product, giving it to you. Here's all the stuff. Here's all the modes. We're not going to overblow you with a bunch of cosmetics. I think there are some cosmetic stuff. There is like if you pre-order a premium edition, you get like Sebastian Gaunt's broom and like all that stuff. There's some crossovers with Hogwarts Legacy. You can unlock some cool stuff. I thought that was neat. I thought that was super cool. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions comes out tomorrow, September 3rd. If you're interested in it, check it out. Check out that gg.deals. See if there's any deals coming up on that. But yeah, that one's an interesting one. That one I think I would actually unironically check out. Let's move on and talk about, what do we have here? Elder Scrolls Castles is coming out. Now, this is a mobile game. He's grilling. What you grilling now? You getting steaks? Burgies? Is he roasting some weenies? Oh yeah, baby. I gotta get some grilling done now that it's actually we're scooting into fall here. We're gonna actually have some weather that you'll be able to grill without killing yourself. Brats! Oh my god. I heard it's brat summer, and you better be putting mustard and onion on those brats. Hell yeah. Elder Scrolls Castles, spiritual successor to Fallout Shelter. And this is one that I watched I watched like a dev diary for it, and the people in the comments were like super mean, obviously, which kind of made me a little sad because the developers that were working on this seemed like they were actually really excited about what they had done, and they seemed really proud of it. And I don't know, it always kind of just makes me sad when, and it's like it's one thing to shit on a game where clearly they just rushed it out and are trying to just profit off the backs of their players and are not having a player-centric thing. But if they're actually like putting forth the effort, I can like be like, all right, whatever. The developers are very excited about the ability to customize the castle, reskin rooms. This is an actual clone of Fallout Shelter, a complete and absolute 100% clone. And unfortunately, watching this little dev diary trailer here reminded me that canonically in the Elder Scrolls universe, Khajiit and Argonians can crossbreed with other races, and what a horrible day to have a brain and eyes. But that was one of the, it's like, because you know it's like the king and queen are like a Khajiit and a dark elf, and you're just like, wait a second, does that work? And then I did a little deep dive, and I'm just like, sure enough, Elder Scrolls lore, you had to just keep the kinky fantasies going. Now, what tells me all that I need to know about this, and let's actually take a look at this screenshot right here. I see two different gem currencies. There was on here a speed up time button for like the waiting. So this is just Fallout Shelter. If you played Fallout Shelter, if you liked Fallout Shelter and you wanted something a little more medieval, this might be up your alley. I'm personally not super duper into mobile games. Like I tried. I always give mobile games a shot. I want there to be mobile games that I actually want to play. Like I want it. Ooh, I want it. But there's very few. I would say that I could count all the mobile games that are worth playing that exist on my 10 digits right here. But, you know, will I probably end up installing it for, you know, an afternoon and playing it until it starts to bug me for money? Yeah. I'll probably give it a try. I'll probably install it and check it out, just because it's Elder Scrolls Castles, you know. Sip a coffee, stare out the window, play a mobile game for 2 or 3 hours until it starts to be like, oh, now you gotta wait 6 days and come back when your room is upgraded to level 6. Yeah, some of those. And like, don't get me wrong, I love like idle games. Dude, I played Adventure Capitalist, I played Adventure Communist, Cookie Clicker, like give me all of that. Just give me that Skinner box, baby. But some of these, meh. But again, it looks like they put a lot of effort into it. They're pretty excited about it. I'll check it out. I'll give it a try. All right, what's next? Upcoming games. So these are all games coming out this week. Elder Scrolls Castles. I didn't actually have an exact date on this, but it's got to be September 10th. So this comes out in a week plus, a little bit more than a week. What else do we have going on here? We have Age of Mythology Retold. So this is an interesting one. Age of Mythology, super duper cool game. Slightly outdated game. But I just want to pull up here like a comparison, because I was a little confused, because I looked at, and I get that they're like, okay, so Age of Mythology Retold is a remake of Age of Mythology, and we're very, very, like, we know all about remakes. We've been nonstop getting remakes for the last couple of years. I understand why. They're safe. It's a safe thing to do. It's, you know that there's a built-in fan base. You know people are mad, and especially games from this era. Because this game, Age of Mythology, was originally released in 2002. So this is 22 years later, we're remastering it, and we're actually going to talk about game preservation with this one, because this is one way. There's the whole controversy going on right now with the stop killing games. Something that one of the first topics that I actually disagree with Thor on, which is interesting. Normally I'm in Thor's camp, but I happen to be, we're blue team this time. So Age of Mythology Retold is being co-developed by World's Edge, Forgotten Empires, Tantalus Media, Capture Aids, and Virtuos Media. So 5 co-developers. Originally released in 2002, what it looks like, we've got ray tracing, we've got 4K, we've got quality of life changes, all new animations, and upgraded UI. Now, we're going to take a look at this, because I was a little confused. On the left here, we have original Age of Mythology, and the game is dated. It is like it's the same company as like Age of Empires, Zeus, all that stuff. Same style of game as that. But this was when we were just into the 3D era. And so on the left is our classic over here, and on the right is our updated new. And my whole thing with this is, like, does the game look better? Yes. Yes, it does. But, like, this is the original, and, like, this is like a zoomed out top-down real-time strategy style. And then let's watch when they do the new updated. Does it look better? Yes. Does it look that much better that it needed to be remade? I don't know. And I was I was looking at these befores and afters, and I was kind of like a little underwhelmed. I'm like, the 2002 version doesn't look that bad. It kind of and let me get my stupid face here out of the way. Part of it, they wanted to keep the classic look, possibly. That's fair. That is fair. Now, I'm not gonna just only poo-poo on this, because, like, again, does this look a lot better than this? The right looks a lot better than the left, right? Yes. But what kind of blows my mind is they're like 4K, ray tracing, all these new modern, and 22 years later, and it kind of looks like we went from 2002 to 2009. Like, yes, it does look graphically updated, but to me personally, it doesn't look that graphically updated. And also, I think this style of game just doesn't need it, personally. Like, on the left over here kind of reminds me of like Warcraft 3, and like the Warcraft 3 remaster, that didn't need to happen. Now, I'm not going to just only poo-poo on it, because they did do some quality of life changes. The user interface has been changed and updated specifically to work with modern resolutions and modern operating systems, and that is really important, and that's really, really cool. Let's pull the chat out of here. So yeah, I mean, like, you know, yeah, there's some fire effects, but I feel like when you're like really, really zoomed in, yes, you can see the update, but when you're playing a game like this, you spend a lot of your time really zoomed out, and I feel like we went from like, you know, 30 polygons on the left to like 100 on the right, and it's like, it's nothing life-changing, you know? It would have been one thing if maybe they were using nanite or lumen and really had like a granular whatever, but for me personally, the OG doesn't look like, I would play the OG and not even be sad about it, but it does kind of make me bring up this. I was talking about the Stop Killing Games initiative, and this is one valid way for game preservation to happen, because, you know, people talk about, you know, games get old and suddenly you can't run them on modern systems, and like, yes, Windows has their compatibility layer, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, sometimes you're relying on community patches, sometimes you just absolutely can't play old games where the servers will go offline, and then you gotta, you know, hackers gotta come out and they're reverse engineering stuff. And on the one side of the Stop Killing Games initiative is the gamers just want some way to preserve the games that they love. They don't want it to be like, oh, the company's not making money off this game anymore, so nobody can play it. And some people feel like, yeah, I bought this 10, 15 years ago, but I kind of still feel robbed of the ability to play it because I paid for it. It's something that I want to play nonstop. Oh, we got ads, baby. We got ads. Ah, dude, Jeff Bezos he's quiet today. He's just so quiet. He sneaks in. Jeff Bezos Hunger is very quiet. We're gonna take a quick little ad break. Take a quick little 3-minute ad break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna keep talking a little bit more about Age of Mythology, Space Marine 2 we're gonna talk about, and then we've got some upcoming games on the horizon here. But yeah, we'll be right back. Gamers, go grab yourself a water, go grab yourself a snack, go grab yourself a bathroom break, top your coffee up, and get ready for some more Zoran. We'll see you in a minute. Did you survive the ads? Nerevar, Moon and Star? Come, Nerevar. The Zoran Show is back. Jeff's gone. Why is it so quiet? I gotta fix that. It's the downside of having so many sound cards hooked up to this computer. We're upgraded. We're recalibrated. We're talking about Age of Mythology Retold is coming out this week at some point. So, talking about the Stop Killing Games initiative, I get that on the one side of the Stop Killing Games initiative, the players just want to be able to play the games that they loved from the past. On the other side of the debate is it's a really slippery slope to force a company to do anything. And even just the ability, like, let's say that I'm running a game, the game's not profitable anymore, we're gonna shut the servers down because we just can't afford it, not enough players, right? The gamers want those companies to then release all the tools and code and software needed so that the gamers can run their own servers, not monetized or anything like that, but just so that they can keep the game alive. Now, the argument against it is that it costs money to do that. You have to have some devs that, like, and even if you're not going to, like, fully support it, even if you're gonna not make it so that it, like, fully works on, you know, it's like, okay, here's all of the source code, here's all the whatever, you guys, it's your project now, right? Some game companies don't want to do that, and so what they'll do is they'll just turn the servers off and kill the game, and then we kind of have to rely on hackers. We have to rely on hackers to do it, and there's people on both sides of the argument here. Now, I think what they're doing with Age of Mythology Retold, I think that's honestly kind of a cool way to like fix this from both perspectives, because here is a classic game that we love. The company can re-release it. Now we're gonna have new updated multiplayer servers, blah, 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 all that stuff. Yes, people have to pay money again for it, but that's kind of like that double-sided coin of like, do you want people to spend time to make sure that these old games that we love are playable on modern systems? Well, that costs money. And so I kind of don't hate that all these old classic games are being re-released and then slightly polished for modern systems. Basically, it's the companies that are just going to release, here's your classic game with a bunch of mods to make it look better and everything. Pay us again for it. We'll continue, whatever. It's not a full solution to the problem, but it is like a band-aid that I feel like this is it's a good middle ground. You know, everybody's kind of happy. We've got outs in every direction. Let's take a look at what G-Tater posted. Oh my God, the Zoran show returns. Is that the thumbnail? That's the thumbnail that I can put on the YouTube. Oh my God, can I take that thumbnail, G-Tater, please? Oh my God, I love that. That's sweet. That's awesome, dude. Oh my God, let's get. Oh my God, G-Tater, everybody, G-Tater. What a guy. What a guy. So yeah, Age of Mythology Retold, cool. Cool. I'll probably be checking it out. I don't know that I'm gonna buy it right off the bat at full price. I might wait for this to go on sale in a, for a Christmas sale or something like that. But we're gonna check it out. So let's move on to our final game coming out this week, and this is the big one that everyone's been kind of waiting for. It is Space Marine 2. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. So, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, developed by Saber Interactive, published by Focus Entertainment, third-person shooter. This is just some gameplay. This is Power Sword. They just posted this like 8 hours ago. The first game was really good. For anybody who has not played the first Space Marine, it's it's a narrative shooter, third person, kind of like Doom. It to me, it was Doom. It was Space Marine. It was Warhammer Doom, like Doom 2016, in a good way. The first game is a little slightly dated, though. If you go back and try to play Space Marine 1, it is a little annoying. It's a little crispy. You can tell it's like I don't even remember exactly when it came out, but it feels like a 2008, 2010 era game. Just a hair too old to be like really modern and snappy. And so I'm personally really excited about Space Marine 2. Now, there's been a tiny bit of criticism. Frostpunk 2 I actually haven't seen yet. Is that coming out soon? When is Frostpunk 2 coming out? There's a tiny bit of criticism about it. The campaign is not very long. September 20th. So we'll queue up Frostpunk 2 for next week's. Because I wanted to try to, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up doing this like every single week. But thanks for letting me know about that, because that will be we'll add that to next week's topic so that I can do a little bit of research on it. I played Frostpunk. So the first game was amazing, slightly dated narrative shooter. And let's just take a peek at, here's some gameplay up top of Space Marine 2. It looks really polished. And what are they? And I'm going to butcher this. Are they the Adeptus Acerites that are the actual Space Marines? You play as like an 8-foot tall, genetically modified soldier, which and I've heard the controls are just slightly clunky, but I maybe think that is a stylistic choice. Pete Boss just redeemed. He's the strongest wizard. Oh my goodness, look at that. He's gonna stay the strongest wizard. What a G. What a homie. Thank you so much for that, Pete Boss. So one thing that I kind of like about, so it's a 10 to 15 hour campaign. There is a PvP mode called Endless War, and so they've been really upfront about everything about this. They pretty much nailed the Warhammer tone to perfection. Like, this is going to be, in my opinion, the ipso facto Warhammer shooting game. This is the modern one. This is going to be the one to play. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to have a 40-hour campaign. I think sometimes, especially for a shooter like this, I think back to, like, the narrative shooters that I really loved. Now, I'm going to bring up some first-person shooters. Half-Life, Bioshock Infinite, but narrative shooters nonetheless. A fish? Did you? Oh, yeah, we got a fish. That's right. We got a fish in the tent. But I think back to like Bioshock Infinite. I had a ton of fun with Bioshock Infinite. Bioshock Infinite was like a game that really, really like spoke to me, and I really, 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 really liked. And I looked at my playtime for it. I think I only played Bioshock Infinite for like 21 hours. And so like, I'm like, 15 to 20 hours for a campaign for a shooter like this, that's great. That's honestly all that I need. But everything we know about it, there's going to be 6 different classes. They've pretty much nailed the tone of Warhammer to perfection. There's going to be a PvP Endless War mode. So it's like you play through the 10 to 15 hour campaign. You can upgrade your different classes. You can unlock different weapons, you kind of build your Space Marine. And then there's a PvP Endless War mode. And they released a battle plan for they have the whole first year of updates planned out already. And honestly, I think this looks slapping. I think this is the kind of game that we need. It looks really good. I've heard great things. I've heard that it's polished. I've heard that it runs good. And so this one's coming out at the end of the week. I think this is actually coming out on like the 8th or something like that. I don't know why I don't have that written down, but I don't. So I think those little tiny criticisms, kind of short campaign, I think that is a moot point since the developers were very upfront about it. They're like, this is the game that we made. We feel good about it. And I mean, honestly, this looks just great. It looks so cool. Customize your Space Marine. Really, the Space Marine power fantasy. And I'm excited to see what kind of game modes, what kind of updates and stuff that they add to this. This is a game that I'm going to play the shit out of. Absolutely 100%. I'm super excited about it. It looks super gorgeous. It looks super fun. I'm down. I'm down for this. And I'm someone who I love Warhammer from like a thematic thing. I love the concept of like the Warhammer tabletop game. I think it's really annoying to play because of all the painting and the setup and the building and the storing your models and all that stuff. And so any like video games that I can get into the Warhammer universe and like experience that, super duper duper fun. I think this is going to be a full price AAA, $60. I don't think they're doing the $70 thing. You'll probably be able to find it 5 or 10% off opening week. I think you can actually pre-order it. I think if you pre-order it right now, you get some skin for a blaster or something early. But from what I've heard, all the stuff in game you can unlock in game, which is good. That's exactly what we want. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this. But I would be very surprised if this did poorly. You like the outfit? Thank you, G-Tater. Thank you. I'm trying to be a little, I'm trying to show up, I'm trying to show up to my job as a streamer. I know, I forgot for like the last month that this is my job, but it is. Thank you for that, Cheatator. Let's move on, and let's talk about games on the horizon. Games that are on the horizon. Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 for PC. Oh my god. Wait. Oh, there we are. Hold up. Wait a minute. Stop. What you gonna do? Say, oh. What is that? Isn't that the door's closing icon? What is that? Is that an emoji? Final Fantasy 16 is coming. Oh, you did Z exclamation mark? That's really weird. Interesting. We'll have to make that into a channel meme. So Final Fantasy 16 is coming to PC. I found out about this yesterday when I was talking to Ilyich. Which actually Ilyich has kindly donated some more of these soundproofing panels. I haven't had a chance to mount them yet, but we will be mounting them very, very soon. So Final Fantasy 16 PC is coming out Tuesday, September 17th. We have just a little more than a week for that. And I, for one, am extremely excited about Final Fantasy 16. I love the Final Fantasy series. Huge fan of... So I personally... Some people haven't been as much of a fan of what they've been doing with modern Final Fantasy. I think, and this is just my opinion, that Final Fantasy 15's combat was the peak of the series. And I think where the direction that they've gone with Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 or whatever, the rebirth or remaster or whatever you want to call it, I think that combat is like the peak, it's the piece de resistance. It is so good. It's the best of like the Final Fantasy style planned kind of battles, but it feels gritty and visceral and like you're actually there. And like I love it. I love it to death. Final Fantasy 15, I have played to hell and back, and you know, you can only go on the road trip with the boys so many times, and I'm honestly looking forward to being able to check out their new vision, like what they did with Final Fantasy 16's combat, because I haven't really gotten to experience that yet, and I'm interested in checking out like a new story. They always look visually appealing. Sony's and Square's their PC ports have always been pretty decent. You're the end boss of Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and you've really enjoyed the Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, I really do. I really think that like they did such a fantastic job with it. I'm for one very, very, very excited for it. So that I'm gonna be definitely keeping that on my radar. I'm probably gonna end up buying that and playing it. Yeah. So keep your eyes on that. We'll talk about that next week as more as we get more information on it and any differences, if they're including any kind of like whatever's with it. But then once I actually play that, I will be able to give you guys my review of. And then we've just got, so that's my games on the horizon, and we've just got a couple little pieces of gaming news this week. Banjo Kazooie was fully decompiled. Now, what does that mean? What does Banjo Kazooie being fully decompiled mean? It means that the people that are making mods for Banjo Kazooie, which believe it or not, there are people making mods for Banjo Kazooie. Currently, they have to write all that in assembly code. And so, like, headlines, Banjo Kazooie decompiled. A lot of YouTubers and streamers and gaming news article authors, journalists have been saying like, oh, Banjo Kazooie PC port is on its way. That's not necessarily true. The game has been fully decompiled, which just means that a group of really talented coders have reverse engineered the assembly into readable computer code. And so for any of you who don't program or know the difference between like what assembly is versus like why that's important, if like computer code like C# or C++ has, if we were to compare that to say like, let's say that you speak English and don't speak any German at all, C# is like German, and assembly code is like reading like Japanese or Chinese or something that doesn't even use the same alphabet. And so like assembly code is just like, I'm not even gonna try, because like I don't actually know how to write assembly, but it just looks like a bunch of like numbers and letters and gobbledygook basically. And you have to be really like, you gotta be real smart to be able to not only read assembly code but like to program in it. And like, whereas regular C# code would say something like, you know, like Mario jump height equals Mario jump height +1 in assembly, that is like extra unreadable. Final Fantasy VII is so well made. There's a scene that you played through that is the most saddest, tear-jerking. You legit started to cry. Oh my god, dude, I love that so much. That makes me so happy. When games as a medium can make you feel things like that. Like, yes, 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 yes. That's what I'm talking about. So Banjo Kazooie's been fully decompiled. That is a big thing. Like how we have like a PC native port of Mario 64, how we have a PC native port of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time with like Ship of Harkinian, that exists now because those games were decompiled. So a PC port is not on the horizon. However, the ability for somebody to make a PC port has kind of been unlocked, and if an individual wanted to go down that path, they would have a much easier time. G-Tater almost started to cry during Red Dead Redemption 2. Dude, Red Dead Redemption 2, that was one of the arguments against why Star Wars Outlaws wasn't, like, people were a little disappointed, because they're just like, dude, Red Dead came out 6 years ago, and why does this game look so much worse than that? But you have to remember that Rockstar Games they're like the kings of the industry. Like, you know, you'd be hard pressed to assemble a team that could make something better than Rockstar Games could. And my final little piece of gaming news here, Baldur's Gate 3 Patch 7 is on its way. Yeah, don't compare games to Red Dead Redemption 2. It's like, you know, when people talk about like quadruple A games, a lot of people think GTA 6 is going to be the first true quadruple A game, and you know, Rockstar's proven time and time again that they can just deliver and then milk what they've made for like 15 years. You know, you got to buy shark cards. It's like comparing a snail to a cheetah. It is. It's exactly like that. Baldur's Gate 3 Patch 7 is coming out. They're adding mod support, like official mod support. So we're going to be seeing a lot more interesting mods for Baldur's Gate and improved evil endings. They've finally fleshed out a lot more evil endings to the game. So for anybody who wanted to do a Dark Urge playthrough, give it like a week. And we're gonna have that patch 7's gonna be out, and it's looking like I did 3/4 of a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. And then I ran into a bunch of glitches in Chapter 3 because I was playing like I played it when it just first came out. I actually played it years before in early access. And then I played it when it first came out, and I had a number of bugs, kind of minor bugs, but also I had like people in my party that weren't supposed to be in my party that thought like things that like there was a bunch of random flags were set, and it basically just broke the end of my game. And I had just put like 70 hours into it, so I was like, ugh, do I really want to restart right now and then go and do it again? I didn't want to. And so yes. What is this, Life of Rasputin? I think it is. So I was kind of like of the opinion, like, okay, at this point I gotta wait like a year, let all of that free from my mind, and then we'll come back. And I haven't actually done an evil playthrough, and I kind of want to. And I feel like if you're looking to do, you can tell the music instantly now. I gotta make some more music. We gotta do like another song to add to the thing. But that's gonna be part of the Zoran Ross Paints and Music stream. Now, I don't have an exact timeline for that. But we'll talk about that in a second. So Baldur's Gate 3, Patch 7. If you're looking to do evil endings, I'm definitely gonna be starting another playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. And I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is now old enough to the point where we could play that on stream. That could be one. Because we're gonna try to, so for the stream games, because don't worry, there's still gonna be games on this stream. I'm trying to not play the like brand new game that just came out, because like, dude, even like I was looking at like streaming Wukong, and it's like, man, you are really lost in a sea of 10 million clones. Not a terrible thing, but yeah, trying to like sneak into that niche a little bit more. But yes, Zoran Ross Paints and Music stream is on the horizon. I'm still figuring out the exact logistics of how we're going to do that. I'm thinking right now we're going to be building a little painting studio just outside of the ice fishing igloo and then running my camera out through the window. And then that's going to be like a day, like kind of how when we built the NES, but we'll make it look really, really nice. Don't worry, I will warn you guys a few weeks ahead of when we actually do that. But this week I probably put 30 to 45 hours into rebuilding this. And so I need like a week or two to just like settle down from that before I solve another thing. And so with that's pretty much all I got for you guys for today for the Zoran news. But don't worry, stick around for the post show because we're going to be playing some Sonic Adventure 2. And I just got to get that loaded up. Get a wig similar to Bob Ross? Oh, dude, I could. We'll have Flammy Z shave his head and I'll make a wig out of that, right? That'd be great. You guys, thank you so much for joining me here today. Yeah, a little happy little blue shirt, we'll do it. We'll do it. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today for the first new stream of Zoran Stream 4.0, 5.0, whatever we're on now. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing a weekly. Currently, the format's looking like Monday, Friday, 5 p.m. We're going to stick to 5 p.m. time. We're going to be doing a weekly gaming news segment, just like today, like we just did. And then we're going to be doing a post show on Monday, and then Friday is just going to be gaming. So yeah, stick around. We're going to be recalibrating the stream, kind of figuring some stuff out. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your patience with the rebuild and figuring this whole streaming thing out. I appreciate you guys coming on this journey with me, and we're gonna keep doing new and crazy and fun things, and it's gonna be absolutely amazing. So I'd like to rock it off. Some special thanks. First of all the Jakes. It was great seeing everybody, the homies, the boys that came up. We got some Oneida in. Got a little hangs in. It was good. Very, very special thanks. I want to just rock it off. A list of names here. We got AM King, AP01, Bipsy. Special thanks to Boost Shack, Bootsy Warrior, Bo Sniddles, BP Fresh, Comrade Punky, Durek Gromrel, Dusty Balls, Flammy Z, Frisetto, G Tater, Goose Baby, Ilyich, McMonkeytron, Nico D, Nilanth, Peep Boss, Moonlight, Sapotease, Sarcasm, Snakeub, Stevie Wonderbread. I still got your hats on top of the studio right now. Super Horse, Nacho Baron, T-Jans, TV Snack Time, Wolf Fang. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support. You guys are what makes this possible. You guys have funded all this cool stuff, all of our technology upgrades. I appreciate you guys so much. We're not going offline yet, though. Anybody who wants to stick around for the post show, we are going to be playing Sonic Adventure 2 for a couple hours. I need to go refill my coffee. I'm going to get Sonic Adventure 2 loaded up on the main computer. So we're just going to go to a quick little, what time are we looking at here? Yeah, we still got like a half an hour for the next Bezos break. So we're going to rip it into a little 5 to 10 minute break here. We're just going to reset ourselves. Anybody who wants to stick around for the post show, grab a snack, take a little break, stretch. We're going to play some Sonic Adventure 2, classic game from back in the day. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then we'll be back on Friday for more gaming. I think we're just gonna do the news segment once a week. So Friday is just gonna be a full night of just ripping some old games, hanging out in the Zoran Studio. But that's all we got for the talk show portion. We'll be back next Monday with another the Zoran Report, the weekly Zoran Report. I think. What did we actually settle on? The Zoran Report, gaming news, new games, and updates, right here on Twitch TV. Stick around for the post show where we're playing some Sonic Adventure 2. We'll be back in like 5-ish minutes. I'm gonna go take a quick little break, and we'll see you guys in a minute.